событие, когда формируется какая-то такая городская среда, да, и когда что эта среда, она не только политическая, но она интеллектуальная, да, и что любое в этой же ветке дискуссии так точно подметил, что любой интеллектуальный шаг, да, он такой становится антипутинским просто сам по себе. И мы подумали, что у нас достаточно знакомых, интересных людей, ученых, журналистов, историков, докторов, которые могут какие-то интересные рассказать вещи, что есть при этом запрос. Этот запрос есть и у оккупайцев, и даже, наверное, у наших собственных коллег, и у тех людей, которые проходят мимо, и те людей, которые готовы будут приехать именно, которые, может быть, не готовы приезжать в лагерь, но которые готовы приехать.
А когда вот здесь был разгон именно этого места, что было, буквально где-то неделю назад, да? Потом они приехали все на баррикадную, да?
Ну да, на баррикадную, потом на
там тоже разогнали? Ага.
На Арбат, да, и потом здесь, но так все неспокойно.
Понятно.
Давайте все вместе. Ассамблея, ассамблея, ассамблея. Еще очень важный вопрос. Что такое ассамблея? Ассамблея – это форма гражданского, которая формируется из вас. Вы поднимаете сами вопросы, сами же на них отвечаете, сами же принимаете решения. Здесь нет ни партии, ни лидера, ни лидера. Здесь есть просто простые граждане. Если к нам придет кто-то из партии, известный лидер, он будет такой же гражданин, как и все, и будет участвовать в работе ассамблеи на равных правах. Все. Если вы понимали, пожалуйста, замолкаем. Это тишина. Это первый знак. Второй знак. Вы хотите сказать что-то. Вы видите, человек поднимает руку. Вы хотите проголосовать. В принципе, сначала конкретно, потому что мы сейчас вопрос. Да, он будет просто представлять порядок очереди, следующие выступающие прокомментируют. Вы выходите вот сюда по возможности. Не надо стоять и вопросы или какие-то выступления проходить здесь, если вы если вы согласны с моим мнением, можно сделать не так, или даже чтобы никого не видели. Я вас очень прошу от себя активнее. Если вы слышите, что человек говорит какие-то вещи, которые вас схожи с вашими мыслями, активно показывайте. Это помогает выступающим видеть вот. Если вы не согласны, делайте так, либо так. Мы пока не решили, кстати, у нас вчера было голосование, и все за раз. Одобрение, это не одобрение, то есть также каждый из вас есть право высказать жесткую блокировку. Вы не согласны совершенно с позицией человека, с тем, что он говорит, и делает.
Давно, и если ты надавишь плечом, и если мы надавим вдвоем, то стены рухнут, и свободно мы вздохнем. Руки мои в морщинах, с тех пор прошло много лет, но сил все меньше и меньше, а стенам износу нет. Я знаю, они гнилые, но сложно их одолеть, когда не хватает силы, и я прошу тебя здесь, давай разрушим эту тюрьму, здесь этих стен стоять не должно, так пусть они рухнут, обветшавшие давно, и если ты надавишь плечом, и если мы надавим вдвоем, то стены рухнут, и свободно мы вздохнем. Где-то давно не слышно, твой ветер его унес, а мы летим, стоим все там же, под тот же грохот колес. И когда кто-то проходит мимо, я стараюсь погромче петь ту песню, которую спел он, прежде чем умереть. Давай разрушим эту тюрьму, здесь этих стен стоять не должно, так пусть они рухнут, 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 обветшавшие давно. И если ты надавишь плечом, и если мы надавим вдвоем, то стены рухнут, 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 и свободно мы вздохнем. И если ты надавишь плечом, и если мы надавим вдвоем, то стены рухнут, 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 и свободно мы вздохнем. И если ты надавишь плечом, и если мы надавим вдвоем, то стены рухнут, 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 и свободно мы вздохнем.
А почему, на каком основании? Я вот помощник депутата государства.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe you want to come on stage, and I think Judith will start the short discussion with you on the film, and we get ready for the bigger discussion, which will obviously continue. Thank you. Okay. So, the Russian night is starting. Okay, so thank you, Anna. So while we're preparing the table here, I would like to invite you to explain a little more about the film. And I would like to invite you to put questions and ask, we have the time now, while our men are preparing the Russian table for the rest of the night. So, I have one question, maybe you explain a little the chronology of the film. So, how can we understand, we outside of the situation, and not everybody is really understanding the whole chronology of the film, so maybe you can explain a little about the structure of your film.
Yeah, so I tried to do it in English.
Yes.
Or,
You tried.
Or maybe I speak German and translate.
Just write in English, okay? So if you don't succeed, I make the translation.
I started to work on this film 1 year ago, so it's really a very it was very important to me to be here now with you and to the big screen. So I finished it 2 weeks ago. My last interview I did in Barnaul in Siberian. It was like 10 days ago actually. Yeah. So and I was not alone because so many people who helped me and who participated and really old friends from my past, so people from the 80s I worked with as dissident in Russia, so Sasha Ilyovich, for example, who was one of the leaders of Democratic Soyuz, and Sasha Bogdanov, who was in St. Petersburg. We had some great camera works. Yeah.
In the kitchen interviews.
No, kitchen is Sasha Ilyovich in Moscow.
Okay.
And Sasha Bogdanov gave me some material from St. Petersburg in front of Gostiny Dvor. You could see this scene with a small boy which was arrested, for example. So some very important scene was provided by Sasha Bogdanov, and even some people from Solidarnost. I found material by YouTube, and I find the people and ask them if I can use it, and they wanted to, but for example, they didn't want be named in the Teatr.
After.
Yeah. So like not the journalist, but the cameraman, for example. So it's really dangerous. Yeah, and.
Why was it so important to you to make this film? Because you are normally not a filmmaker, not known as a filmmaker.
It was very important for me because actually I am last year I spent in between of Austria and Russia, and I was very touched by what is happening in Russia now, and it's very. Maybe stupid, but like really I was crying in front of my computer watching YouTube videos from the first demonstrations, and my daughter asked me what is wrong with you, and I just told her I'm so happy. So to see the people came out. So after
the election in December, you mean the Duma election? Yeah.
To make a film in September, I was in Moscow. End of September, and there was a first demonstration, and I was really sad to see there were maybe 300 or 400 people, mostly older people, no one young face, and I was really sad about it. So I was thinking, where are young people, and like several weeks after this voting, like this protest, which was already on the internet, is auf der Straße, Yes, and and I tried to deal with like the situation from different point of view. So you could see I have my youngest star is 13. And the oldest, it's a very famous woman, leader of Helsinki group in Moscow, Lyudmila Alexeyeva. She's also over 80. No. It was an old woman who was telling, I am so happy,
There's so many of you here.
Yeah, it's so many of you, and I still alive, and I can see people go out to the street. So it was really, and people say, thank you, you came. You are with us. So this was this woman, and so and I did actually why this film. So I didn't try to make it chronological or something. Actually I'm interested in methods of social resistance. So I actually work with this for 2 years already, and my project for Berlin Biennale was also very close to this, and so I could show some fragments from the film already there, but it wasn't finished. And I worked with Canvas group, and actually it's really interesting how these methods, like there are very classical, like hunger strike. So I show here also very strong methods, but there are also some which are very playful, but they are not less effective. So.
But this playful demonstration, so with the toys, this is because of a new law, I guess. So maybe you can explain this a little.
Yeah, no, this is like the demonstration was before this law. This demonstration because people of Barnaul during over the country were a lot of protest demonstration. People in Barnaul were still forbidden to go to the street, and they decided to create a new form of resistance. So, it's interesting. So I could actually this because this toys now are not allowed to meet.
To meet them in the park on the street.
So I brought them to Vienna, and they will. They have now a platform on my next big show in Krebs. They will protest there.
You see protests, the Lego protests in the... Okay, that's fine. So maybe you have some, before inviting everybody on the stage, maybe there are some questions to Anna from the audience. Yes, please.
Thank you. Hi. The very practical question: How did you get the footage from inside the containment at the end?
I asked people.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Please, just come.
Yeah.
Nikolay, should I come?
I think it... Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you to explain the last scene in the film, maybe. And you also, I think, as I heard, you have this music with you.
Actually, thank you, Anya, for putting that in your film. And yeah, actually, by chance, people are around, and you are not alone in that nice police van, how to say van, yes. And there was a journalist whom we know very well, who came to the same protest. It was actually a protest against the trial of Buserai, the first prolongation of detention. And he came with a poster, and they caught him and put him into the van. Then he realized that he has a press card, and he passed it to the policeman, and the policeman released him. And after that, Vlad came out and realized that he wanted back. And he came back and said, you know, I decided to stay for a longer time because I came here as an artist, not as a journalist, sorry. And he stayed, and he has a camera. And that's how this short film came public. And yeah, thanks to him, by the way. His name is Vlad Chizhankov. Yeah, I saw it.
Maybe you could explain the song.
The song is very important and interesting story because it was written by Luis Llach, the Catalonian composer and singer, and a poet who was writing his song at the time of this anti-Frankist movement in Spain. And then the story continues in the 80s in Poland, when a famous Polish artist translated it into Polish language, and it became famous there during protests, and it was an anthem of solidarity movement, solidarity trade union, if to be precise. And then we didn't know that, but we discovered it recently. That once it was sang in Belarus during protests a couple of years ago. And then my friend Kirill Medvedev, whom you saw singing, he's a poet and translator, and he translated it into Russian. And we are kind of members of a band called Arkady Kots, and we are singing this song for some time already. So as we came, we decided to sing because we came for singing. It was kind of announced festival to support Pussy Riot, but festival didn't happen because we were first people to sing and immediately called. Yeah, and that's how we continue our festival inside the Policeman. That's how it works.
I really would like to invite the others on the stage, maybe Dmitry, where I think the women just left. Alexandra, she left. She's yeah, she would maybe come. Where's Elena? They're all yeah. Ah, Anton.
Священна выпуск. Can we make
yes.
some table for right here? Is it possible? Come to us.
There.
There. Can we make some table?
Yeah.
No,
maybe
we need glasses for sure, and guys, this is not just for us, you know.
Yes, this is for everybody. It's for
everybody. So you just grab and help yourself. It's quite easy. Just squeeze.
Nikolay, you know how to accurate with it?
Sure. Oh, you have to sit with your ass.
I think we get some classes, so just be patient. So what we do now is not only to drink vodka or to try to make this body work. We have now several artists from different positions here on the stage, and a big bottle of vodka, of course. So we start with the big bottle, and then we start with the presentation, and maybe okay, so we're here. So you want to start with the song?
Can we make music a bit louder? Is it possible? Thank you very much. Katya Cox. I will give you a link. Yeah, it's easy.
So we just will make a little vodka break, so who wants to have a glass? And then we start with or continue with
Can we play a bit louder? Dear friends, now we are going to the point. Now, some people would see right here to explain you something.
What you really need to do is just get up.
There was an idea to have several presentations and explanations about what's going on right now in Russia. So this was just a short beginning. Let's not just, you know, fall into this kind of relaxation. Yes. We will, a bit late.
Really what you should just get up and do is dance.
We will, but some people would like to talk a bit. So let's finish vodka and then go for talking for a while. Right?
Bad things. If you want, you can take your chairs and come on the stage, but we really would like to sit down and to give the others the opportunity to
It's working.
Is that your word?
Putin is dying. Putin dies.
It does look, yeah. So, really good. If you want, just take a seat on the stage, but Russian. Goodbye stage. What a nice animation of the Russian Christian. I like it. It's stunning.
I was in Oleynikov 3 weeks ago, and
now we would like to give the others the opportunity to present their work. We go in the bar.
Саша Галкина. Саша Галкина.
Саша.
Саша, выходи, пожалуйста, на сцену.
Где она? А, вот.
Вот и Саша. Мы здесь. Кто еще должен быть? Дима. Окей, друзья, мы начинаем. Занимайте, пожалуйста, те места, которые вам нравятся.
Sasha, may I ask you to make your presentation first, yes? Yeah, please. So, what we would like to do now is we have the music will come, so we will change. And other performances on the stage. So, okay. So maybe anyway. So we have this nice presentation on the there, and you start with yours. So, warmly welcome, Sasha Galkina. In 50 minutes, so we can start with. So we have representatives of the Garden of Disobedience there, and I would like to ask Sasha for a statement. So let's try to hear Sasha, okay? Dmitry, it would be very, I would appreciate.
We really think that actually this has all been quite fucking boring, and perhaps it's time to have some fun. Because all of you are just sitting there and doing nothing, right? So why don't we just all get up and actually do something? Yeah, so stand up and do something. Why are we all just sitting there watching people that are apparently experts or professionals telling us what we're meant to think? So, come on, like it's got to be more fun than this.
Objection. One of these so-called professionals are or is a real member of Pussy Riot, which is right now happening here, and you don't want to listen a word. I really want some fun instead of that. I mean, just for a moment, just listen, why don't you?
But you know what? All we do is listen. All we do is listen to men telling us what we're meant to be doing. So maybe we should just stand up and actually have fun for ourselves instead of believing that other people tell us what fun is.
Hello? Can I continue?
So,
on the rest of the program, but this woman I really would like to hear, because I'm with her in the heart. And I'm with her protest in Russia. That's really been really hardcore. So please give her a word, because she's totally passionate about what she's doing.
I really think that we can understand this expression, and I don't think it comes in relation to like this particular night, but I think it's an expression that's coming from the rest of like what's happening and like fair dues. But like, yeah, I agree. Like this is really exciting. We should listen to this.
So, okay, we want to hear Sasha Galkina. Okay, okay, please, thank you.
I just want to encourage the crowd to be a little rowdier. Like I think this.
Yes, but we have time. The night is long. Okay, so we start with Sasha and then we continue. Okay.
I wanted to say that I totally disagree with the film that I saw, and I wanted to tell you that it's really complicated to explain you the difference of our visions, and we really don't have enough time for that. It's very important, and this representation for me looks little bit conservative, but I don't know conservative, and but I don't know how to prove it because I don't have enough time, and this is it. And
take your time.
Okay. First, I think it is interesting to discuss the film more than to present, maybe, because I have some material to show, but I can't find the basement here to talk about this, so we can start from the discussion maybe of the film. And first, I would say that in this documentary there is a total lack of the marginal part of opposition in Russia, that is leftists, who are very, very like real marginal, and they represent themselves very rarely and not very like brightly or creatively. So I saw only the representatives of Solidarność, that are kind of liberal opposition, that are more talking about Western democracy and a lot of cliches of Western society. So I'm totally disagree with their role in real processes. And some other persons that I saw there were like showing not the things that I felt during some my own experience, and it is really complicated to explain.
No, it is clear. Just go on.
And I could have my time a little bit more and give you an example. For example, you know this story around Pussy Riot group that is mostly famous for the last action, because after the girls should have, like, they are in jail now for 2 years. Maybe they will be released, but nobody knows. But anyway, before they did this action on all these processes, new processes started, they did actions in the city, and they have really strong ideology and very radical. And yes, and everything that changed, everything changed after the girls got to the jail, because like people started to support them.
like everyone started to talk about them like the victims of the regime, and it started to be very trendy story for right-wing liberals, for Democrats, for bourgeois opposition, and the story started to be much more popular than before. And all this discourse around the pussy right now in Western media is it is somehow not connected with the origins of the project, and this is the difference. So it is very important that the leftists in Moscow, they do not have enough resources to support in the way that the bourgeois opposition can. So, because everybody in Russia are opposed to Putin, even bourgeois people who, like everyone now, so it's very, the regime is held only by this system of ex-KGB, so he's really like not very popular even in bourgeois scene. So that is why, like the leftists, the anarchists, the marginal punkers, youngsters, they do not have enough support, and that is why this story became so popular. And I hate this discourse around pussy riot in the Western media, because they usually speculate in Soviet times, and they use it like a motive to prove their own democracy. Like in Russia we have dictatorship, and here we are very open persons, and we have human rights and blah blah blah. And, thank you. So as I was somehow close to the band and I knew the motivations inside, and I know that the girls, they really do not maybe expect this reaction, but at the same time I think that they did the best thing that could be done in these 10 years since 2000, because after a big movement of 90s that I participated as well when I was very young, like 15 years, I participated in Moscow Actionist movement somehow, and after 2000, after Putin came, all these groups disbanded. They announced that they are disbanded because they were like searched by the power authorities or things like that. And these previous 10 years were a very, like how to say, reactionary and very strange times. And at the same moment, there was a kind of theoretical work in the underground. People didn't maybe go outside, but they worked a lot, read books, and met and discussed. And maybe in the middle of 2000, they started some new life in the marginal society spectre. So I think that now this is the best thing that could happen to Moscow scene, to Russian art, because it's totally avant-gardistic project. It invited the barbarian situation. It really showed how it looks. And more than that, that artistic society is very arrogant about this project, because lots of artists, they are very jealous about this activist band, and they say this is not art, this is like only activism and blah blah blah, but at the same time it has a very strong tradition to Moscow actionism to the 90s. That is very strong period. So this was my point. According to the film that I saw.
So, maybe you want to answer to your film or to the critique on your film?
I like to have feedback now.
Okay. So you would like to have more?
I don't think I don't show this left. There are a lot of people which are left in my film, even some of them. So I don't think I didn't introduce these people in the film. but I have like some my special way. Actually, I am outside and I am very. It's special for me to hear feedback because I am not in Russia, so I live outside of Russia, and actually I have my story. I was very close to some people in the 80s, which were my partner now for the film. So it's a special political part of Russia, of course. So this is even my point of view.
Just my question to Sasha. We have a famous writer, Elfriede Jelinek, maybe you know her for her book, The Piano Player. And she wrote a very touching text about Pussy Riot, and I just wanted to read one sentence, so my translation, but I wanted to ask if it's true what she's saying. She says, if these young women get arrested, then Russia will arrest itself. Then the dance floor is closed and another dance is starting, which already is frightening me. Nobody will be allowed to say they haven't known about it, because what once happened should be always known about. And this once we already had before, even more than once. I don't know if you understood now, but she wants to say that history is repeating, that what we had in Austria and Germany, so we had the Nazi regime, and so we had a similar situation, and she's comparing the situation, she's citing Hannah Arendt as well in her text, and she's comparing the situation with the Russian situation now, and she wants to say that what happened to Pussy Riot now is that when they were arrested, Russia arrested itself. So it's just it moved one step further, and this step is not maybe understandable for everybody.
It is also very important that before these two girls got to jail, we had a lot of political prisoners before, and nobody knows their names. And these are the people from... we have this National Democratic Organization of Limonov, and for example, one of them exploded a monument of the last Tsar. It was maybe in the middle of 90s or in the beginning of 90s. And he got, I don't even remember how many years of jail. And I was near the yes, I was near the building of this jail where he was in. And afterwards, the Russia is really huge, and just you can't even imagine what is happening in the cities 12 hours from Russia. And we have a lot of political prisoners, and now we have like around 20 people that got to jail for nothing. They just even didn't participate in the demonstration that they are accused of some participation. And this story with Pussy Riot is more, I think it is important because it is a project that was organized and absolutely consciously made by artists and activists and musicians, and it's important that there are no people behind, and that is why their projects, they were like they became the core, like the core of these maybe 20 years of the regime. And it is like now it's very symptomatic. That is why you know that in Russia is like things like that or something, but this is why the project is very good, because they showed in artificial way the mechanisms of the society machine or something.
Thank you. I think this is important because there's a gap in the reception of this action of Pussy Riot between America and Europe. and Russia. So to understand this, it's important to have the knowledge about the situation around her.
Yes, but it's very important that there is a tradition in Moscow art, and Viennese expressionism, for example, is not the closest relative. Because in the 90s we had a very strong movement of it. We had Brenner, Osmolovsky, who did like since the middle of 90s. For example, this action of the Pussy Riot on the Red Square is somehow connected to this tradition, because before Osmolovsky's group did an action that the title was Huy, it's a dick. And the action was like when people came to the biggest square in the city, in the country, and the people put with their bodies this obscene word. They just lied on the floor. And it was connected to the censorship of speaking in the open space, when like, and they got several days of jail, but it was early, and the power was not aggressive that time.
Okay. Here's a question. I have no mic. Do you have a mic?
I don't know if you finished her sentence. You finished? Cool. Yeah, no, my question was kind of like, I think I really like, obviously really outside of what's happening in Russia, and I think it's really amazing, and like really respect what you're doing, and like, but I'm wondering if like the kind of like aesthetic of Pussy Riot and the kind of the kind of punk thing is like kind of, I guess I'm interested in like kind of hope and like how hope is kind of understood in Russian society, in the environment that you take place in, and if we're living in this kind of age of like post like idea, like beyond this kind of idea of communism and beyond this kind of idea of like democracy, which in Russian society is like, from what I can see, is like both failed, and like what kind of punk, like what this kind of aesthetic of punk means, and like what this kind of aesthetic of or this idea of like rebellion kind of means, and like in what can we find in it that is like so hopeful, and actually in what I see is like really hopeful and inspiring, but I don't know if you can articulate that, if that makes sense.
Did you understand the question? Maybe you could
I guess just really simply like punk. So like Pussy Riot is a punk band, right? And punk is kind of understood in like a really like negative thing. It's like anti everything, right? And I'm just like, but like Pussy Riot also represents so much hope, like so much like positive energy. And how do we understand like what Pussy Riot does in a positive kind of sense? So like it's negative in its aesthetic, but like how do we grasp what is it that like gives Pussy Riot so much hope? Maybe.
We just tried to make... Yes?
Yes, I think so.
So maybe again, so there's a gap between...
This guy says that you are perceiving me like the artist from the third world.
Can you repeat? Sorry, we didn't understand.
He said that you're talking me like if I was from the third world. But don't have any answers to that because I think that even when Sex Pistols performed, it was not about killing yourself on the concert and dying on the stage. It was for even Sex Pistols or Bikini Kill, they were not about like like the bad emotions. They were very. It was very funny. It was very like how to say. It was really fun. It was not. I think you a little bit dramatize and romanticize.
Okay, maybe you want to continue, Dmitry?
Me?
Yes.
Cannot be analyzed by any question.
Good question. I have something to continue.
I have something to continue with. Exactly.
Thank you.
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
So, I hope we really run into more dialogical kind of situation. But yeah. So, but right now I would like, after Pussy Riot, which are really heavy case, which everyone would like to discuss from different positions, I would like to show one scene, possibly from the future, from one of our new plays that we did and recently realized in a video form. It's very difficult to explain the whole play. You can watch it online. It's about 40 minutes. It's about film about current Russian situation, mythology, and quite fairy tale style where many things are happening. But please watch one fragment which really reflects the level of hate speech in Russian society, interpreted by one kind of expert on the stage, and then you see appearance of a new figure. And after that figure, I think, to continue the discussion on possible that Pussy Riot, possible developments, I think you will be quite shocked and quite inspired to run much more deeper discussion how things might develop in Russia.
Maybe, yeah, just to wait, while we're waiting, maybe you would like to explain a little about this play and about your group and platform Chto, because I don't know if everybody knows about the platform Chto.
I'm not sure if it's right now, it's the right situation to explain that.
Yeah, just 1 second.
I mean, you know, and you know, we are kind of old guys who do kind of boring things.
Is there anyone who can explain it? Like, you know, you are a huge auditorium. Can you?
Here's the question. Let's make it good. Who never heard about Chto? Turn your hand.
Never heard.
Wow.
Never heard. Never. Fuck you, man. So I don't think we need to talk too much. So actually, this particular in front of what?
All right. To be modest, the Chto group was formed in 2003 by friends who were occasionally artists, philosophers, art critics, and since then and on, it exists. We are making films. We are doing learning plays. We continuously publishing a newspaper, which we produce on 2 languages, and mostly we spread it during the sort of protests and art events, like, you know. And then what we do else? We do some kind of self-education and education stuff, and we do performances, but mostly installations and so on and so forth. So there's a huge platform actually of 200 people participated in. So it is to merge and to discuss the combination between art, philosophy, research, whatever, and politics. And we were starting again in 2003. That's the point.
Thanks, Nikolay. Okay. So I don't really, because actually we're forced into that kind of stupid format of kind of 7 minutes talk. What you can say in 7 minutes? Not so much. You can drink a lot of shots. But anyway, and to explain this play, it really takes time. If you watch it through, it's quite easy. It's very kind of popular fairy tale format. But, excuse me, I really would like to show you 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Enjoy.
Continue like that. Thank you. More sound, please. Because music for us is very important. And sharpness, please.
Крысы-мигранты. В русском лесу считаются необходимым злом. В связи с тем, что они проживают в подвалах русского леса и говорят на неведомом наречии, их жизнь мало изучена и скрыта от остальных обитателей. Некоторые из обитателей полагают, что крысы-мигранты воруют и съедают их детенышей. Однако эта гипотеза не подтверждена фактами. Пидер Страус. Самый жуткий обитатель русского леса. В русском лесу это имя нарицательное. Если хотят сказать, что какое-то явление или человек самый плохой из всех возможных, то называют его именно этим словом. Свинхеды. Ненавидят крыс, страусов, черных вдов, вампиров, зайцев, русалок, медведей, оборотней и остальных обитателей русского леса. Ненависть в форме свастики без конца перемалывает их внутренности, что делает свинхеды злее и опаснее. Черные вдовы. Коварные порождения мухомора, наводящие ужас на других обитателей русского леса. Террористки-смертницы. Вампиры-экстремисты. Крайне непопулярны в русском лесу. Благодаря крыльям и приборам ночного видения преодолевают границы русского леса и привозят оттуда деньги, не принадлежащие дракону. На эти деньги они пытаются подорвать стабильность и порядок в русском лесу. Заклейменные магическими цифрами 282, вампиры-экстремисты часто исчезают в трясинах или за границами русского леса. При этом их популяция устойчиво восполняется. Оборотни в погонах. Полицейские русского леса. Служат дракону, курице и собственной выгоде. Подвержены внезапным вспышкам насилия, которые служат задачей общей дрессировки обитателей леса. Занимаются большей частью индивидуально-хозяйственной деятельностью.
Я террористка. Я окончательно с этим определилась. А все началось в 2012 году, когда я еще подростком вместе с моими родителями принимала участие в одиночных пикетах «Сеть мира и любви». У меня был плакат «Правда побеждает ложь». С ним я и стояла, одна, на расстоянии 50 метров от моей мамы. Такое расстояние разрешается по закону. Но тут ко мне подошли двое полицейских и, подхватив меня под руки, тогда я была маленькая и худенькая, оттащили меня к моей маме. Все, готово. Это больше не одиночный пикет, а несанкционированный митинг, если двое людей вместе стоят. Нас арестовали и отвезли в полицейский участок. Составляли фальшивые протоколы, верили подлой лжи свидетелей. Судья, выносившая нам приговор, смеялась нам в лицо. Мне было обидно, что в нашей стране возможна такая несправедливость, поэтому я плакала. Тогда, наблюдая за всеми этими людьми, я поняла, что их невозможно переделать. Это не люди, они хуже, чем звери, их можно только убивать. Теперь я выросла и больше в этом не сомневаюсь. Теперь я их взрываю.
Кто это был? Then it continued. But what I wanted to say is that actually I feel like that limit for symbolic violence in Russia is saturated. So what comes next, we don't know. So it was just projection for possible future. Take it or not. But
actually, we feel it quite clearly where the border was overcame. Like it was a Pussy Riot case when symbolic violence became visible, and you know, how to say? Okay, let's go with visible, and then it was another case and another moment and another event on 6th of May. The huge demonstration was provoked by police, and the violence became not just that symbolic, but it became for more than 100 years, not more than 100 years, but about 80 years. It becomes real and it becomes vibrant and people really feel it. That was the actual moment of overcoming this symbolic thing into real one. And that was a very important moment in a modern Russian history that I would really call one of the major events, which people would really appreciate for ages. Because since now on, we don't have this sort of, how to say, attitude that things will go like that without any violence. We will take examples from Greece, we will take examples from Spain, we will take examples from black blocs all over the world. We will find ourselves in a completely new situation, and we really already found that something really has changed already. And that was the moment of 6th of May. The provocation of police became a real violence clinch, a violent clinch, which really brought us into a new situation, into a new historical position. And right now, we really have to understand it. Not to go with, you know, white roses to the police and to hug them and to kiss them, but really to understand how to train ourselves to be in a new position of confrontation with people and state. It is right now, no, I mean it. People will now prepare themselves. I think I see this is quite a possible situation. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not day after tomorrow, but we overcame it just right now. This sounds, of course, for Europe, which has a huge tradition of this street violence for ages already. This is completely different. But for Russia, which has not things like that during like more than 20 years since 93, yeah, exactly. Since Perestroika, Chechnya, Soviet Union collapse, things after that. During 90s, we have this kind of regrets about the politics is not the case that people could be involved in. The politics is not ours. We have to be distant. We have to keep that kind of our own small, you know, rather cozy space for our own. The politics didn't come to every house, didn't come to every person. But right now, the situation turns around. The situation that we were witnessing is now completely different, and it became a part of that tradition, which we appreciate very much. That when you go with a red flag in Russia, the flag will be rather huge, but the stick will be small. But in Greece, and we know that, the stick should be like this, and the flag can be, you know, just a small piece of, you know, material. And this we should know. This we should, you know, right now appreciate as a tradition to take. I think about it. Actually, I will have a short announcement, because tomorrow the talk about violence will start at Rota at 5, and I will appreciate everyone who will come and oppose me or maybe support me in that kind of things. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
Thank you. Are there?
Whitewash for the hall. Please make whitewash for the hall.
Dass es jetzt klar ist, dass in Russland keinen gewaltlosen Machtwechsel mehr geben wird. Und auch der 6. Mai ist markiert durch diese Frau, die sagt, das ist das ist Punkt Невозврата.
That's what's always said in her film, that there is a point of no return, might say, with a point where violence.
Please make whitewash for the whole hall.
Okay, so Kira, continue.
Because I need to plug in my computer, because as you maybe saw on the list of contributors, there was a group announced, which is obviously not here, but we can have a talk on Skype now with a member of Voina, and yes, I will try the Skype thing. I tried it before, it worked perfectly, so let's see.
Yes.
Okay, I should do it with the microphone. Can you hear me when I have the microphone?
But we don't hear you.
Okay, I have to, okay. Can you say something just to see that we hear you?
Здравствуйте.
Hello. Okay. So, you are obviously not here. Can you maybe explain what happened and why you cannot travel to Graz? Because I don't know if everybody knows here about the situation, and also as you wanted to talk about politics, what you just mentioned in Skype before, this is probably a very political question.
Вы меня спросили, почему мы не поехали, да?
Yes.
Олег, они спрашивают, почему мы не смогли приехать в Гraz, по какой причине?
Ну, мы, честно говоря, не собирались.
They didn't want to.
You didn't intend to come. But if you would have intended to come, you could have come.
Но если бы вы собирались, то вы бы приехали, да?
Ну, если вы заметили, вообще обычно не участвуем в подобного рода, я не знаю, как это назвать. Здесь я, потому что просто лично хорошо отношусь к Киеву.
Okay, usually they don't participate in such events, but this time it's just because of respect to Kira.
Thank you. Did you follow up the discussion?
Did you follow the discussion before? This talk?
Честно говоря, нет.
No. So maybe you just tell us a little bit about your situation now.
Может быть, просто расскажешь нам немножко о ситуации.
Ситуация где?
Ситуация что?
Ситуация где?
Да. А почему?
А какой ситуации?
То, что вы не смогли приехать сюда.
Ну, честно говоря, не планирую, говорю просто. Никуда не ездим и сюда не поехали.
Okay, so they don't go anywhere and they decided not to go. So he didn't want to come, so he didn't come.
Before she said that he decided not that at the moment that... Okay, that's a question.
Никаких вопросов.
Okay, no question, Katya? You sure?
Are there any questions?
Who is it?
Okay, who is it? Who are you? You should explain who you are. There's a question from the audience who you are.
Пошутили, стал вы, а кто ты? Задает вопрос.
He's a curator of Berlin Biennial 7. He's not talking about art, by the way.
Okay, so there was... Здесь был вопрос, а кто ты? Такой шутливый вопрос.
Абсолютно серьезный. Все знают.
Хорошо. Серьезный вопрос. Кто ты? Окей. Ты можешь рассказать о вашей группе?
Мы сейчас по статьям, я, конечно, не буду рассказывать в прямом эфире о нашей группе. Если хотите, можете почитать об этом.
He's not going to tell you about the group now online, you can just read it.
Я объясню, почему. Я не буду говорить. Ну, все прекрасно знают, чем мы занимаемся. И чем мы будем заниматься в дальнейшем, я думаю, тоже предполагают. Именно поэтому, что комментировать? Давайте к делу. О чем-то будем говорить?
Okay, so he doesn't want to translate, to say you who he is, you can just read it. So we can just begin the conversation.
But there are some questions for you from the audience, so just please come and take them. Thank you.
First.
Hello. My question is, well, first of all, why do you appear in this festival if you have no interest in art, and also, you are associated with art, so why not abandon this field, really? And second, if you are interested in this, how can we help you? What can we do for Voina and for Russia?
Can you repeat the first question?
Why are you here?
Почему ты здесь? Первый вопрос, почему ты здесь?
Почему ты
выступаешь, сейчас разговариваешь с нами, несмотря на то, твое утверждение о том, что ты обычно не участвуешь в подобных мероприятиях.
Я уже объяснил, могу повторить, это просто из моего личного хорошего расположения к Кире.
It's just because of respect to Kira.
Ну, беседовали с ней в Москве, она попросила меня поучаствовать, я участвую.
Okay, so Kira asked to participate and he participated. Okay, второй вопрос, что мы можем для вас сделать сейчас?
You don't hear?
We don't understand her.
Okay, but this is too loud. She just repeated the question. What can we do here now? That's the question.
Что мы можем для вас сделать сейчас?
Для вас и для России.
И для России.
Для России, ну, ничего не делайте, мы как-то сами справимся. Только лишь бы не мешать, да?
Okay, you can do nothing for Russia, but just don't prevent us from doing what we do.
What are you doing? Hey, I have a question. I'm really into pop stars. It's great. I love watching documentaries about Sid Vicious. That's great. I was just wondering if we could watch like some Lady Gaga videos or Beyonce. I was just wondering if we could maybe. It's just like, to me, it's a little bit unattractive. I was just wondering Beyonce would maybe make a better YouTube video. But thanks.
I don't know how to translate.
I'm sorry, but I didn't understand the question. So if he's watching Beyonce and Lady Gaga, that's the
I just think like you're creating yourself into like a punk idol. That's great. Yeah, like. But,
it's another group now.
It's not a question.
Sorry, I think.
Like I don't know how to confront this kind of arrogance. It's like. I mean, like you guys, like he's making a career of like kind of dismissing career. It's like.
I think it's about your attitude. They don't understand the attitude, so maybe. Sorry, I can be quite direct, I think.
Я все равно ничего не слышу, я слышу только, когда мне Маша говорит или Кира, а общий гул вот в зале я не слышу.
He doesn't hear the noise in the crowd. But I don't understand
Я просто
your question
ориентируюсь на
either.
Машу, что Маша говорит, что Кира говорит, вот их я хорошо слышу.
Translate. Can you translate this?
Okay, I think the question was about your attitude. I tried to show the audience, maybe to make a bit clearer that there are many people. I don't understand you either, you know.
There's the microphone there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so.
Hello, mister. What happens to you? I mean, my question is as well why you were invited and what is this for an asshole? Sorry, what has happened to you? Fucking man. Can we make this option to look a video from YouTube? Maybe? Instead of this man? What is? Yes.
This is just a huge discussion. I would like everyone to respect each other in a way you can, or not. But Voina, for Russian contemporary scene, is a very important group. I have to explain to you. You know, anyhow, this is quite important stuff. But yeah, anyway, there are questions towards him. And this is also a huge question, why he appears in this way or that way, but he is sentenced right now, and he is, you know, traced and whatever it takes. He might be arrogant or not, but if you have real questions, ask, I mean.
He told you for Russia, nothing, forget it. He's anti-Russian.
She has a question.
Translate it. He can't hear what she's going to say.
Let's ask her some real questions, you know, like we will have party afterwards, yeah? Because it's a little bit,
What's
you
your
know...
question?
My question is, what do you think about Pussy Riot? Very simple question, I think.
Какое у тебя отношение к Pussy Riot?
He didn't hear you.
Олег, какое у тебя отношение к Pussy Riot? Вопрос.
Что?
Какое у тебя отношение к Pussy Riot?
Еще раз, пожалуйста.
Какое у тебя отношение к Pussy Riot?
Надо девочек отпускать, давайте все объединимся, возьмемся за руки и просто.
Okay, let's sing for Pussy Riot to be free. Let's hug each other, and then maybe they will be set out free. I really give up. It's too.
So, can we stop this conversation and keep on going off?
Just think a little bit about
So, we would like to stop if there aren't any further questions, but if there are further questions, serious questions, we would like to invite you to ask.
What is it? This is about you, a show about you? No, this is not really. Some people want to have it. Maybe you can wait a couple of minutes and see what develops. Really, it's not about you all the time.
I totally agree. That's not my, sorry, this is not my thing. It's just that I see this guy, he don't want to talk at all. I have this feeling,
Then go
but
out. Then go somewhere else. There's a bar
no,
outside.
we just...
There's a bar outside. Go there and come back.
No, sorry. I would like to talk with him, but he is not, sorry.
Guys, can you please
Is there a question? Okay, there are two questions. Okay, please.
Are you drinking honey?
Can you give the would you give the microphone to the
Короче, она продолжает шутить. Ты пьешь мед?
Что ты говоришь?
Ты пьешь мед?
Да. Кстати, австрийский мед удалось украсть здесь. Много австрийского меда, и вот сейчас наслаждаемся.
Okay, they have a lot of Austrian honey and they enjoy it now. Okay, because they had guests from Austria and these people brought them honey from Austria. That's why he's saying that they have a lot of Austrian honey and they enjoy it now.
There's one more question.
So I don't know the company. I want to know what they're doing and what they will do next, if they can say.
He said you can read about it. You already answered.
There's a...
Okay, but maybe we can ask if there are any, I mean, if you want to say, but is there something you want to say about what you're doing next?
I just want to ask that actually we know that some people of Voina was imprisoned or they, and some, my question is that it's still running in Europe, big movement Voina wanted, and I want to ask actually if a part of Voina are not in Russia and a part of Voina are in prison in Russia, if they enough discuss if they believe to what the other part of Voina made in Europe, like if they agree with it. Yeah.
Окей, вопрос такой, что по Европе ходит до сих пор это лозунг «Война в розыске», и она спрашивает, хотя там, в общем, она спрашивает о том, что делает часть войны в Европе, правильно?
Я не знаю никого из войны, кто бы сейчас находился в Европе.
Nobody from Voina is in Europe now. It's not Voina, okay. She said that she invited Voina. Alex and Plutzer.
А где они находятся, скажите?
What? Что ты можешь?
Где они находятся?
Where they are? Ты не знал об этом? Что Плуцер был в Европе?
Ну, может, когда-то и был, он человек не молодой. Я тоже был в Европе.
Okay, maybe he used to be because he's not that young, and I also was in Europe.
Could you please give the microphone, where's the microphone? Yeah, to Florian, please say. So.
I have a question.
По желанию, давайте по существу поговорим. Ну что там, кто был в Европе, кто не был. Ну, интересно вам это. Давайте по существу.
Let's talk about important thing, maybe.
Excuse me, please. So, back to you.
You hate the term of art, or to be considered to be put in the field of art, and at the same time you have a political struggle, which you pay a lot for in terms of your life, your family, and so on. So why, even though you despise art, why don't you move into a political movement and try to gain forces? Because the price you pay is very high. And in the end, you end up in the cultural sections of the newspapers. So isn't maybe joining forces and moving into the field of politics the better choice when you hate art at the same time anyway?
So maybe you repeat the question a little bit shorter for the translation, please.
It's late. Okay. So you pay a lot for what you're trying to do. So you live a life in a legality with your children and so on. And at the same time, you struggle very much with the term of art. You defend art, but you don't want to be called an artist and so on. And for what you want to do, wouldn't it be maybe better to try to join forces? To move into politics and really leave the field that you apparently hate anyway.
Окей, ты платишь большую цену за то, что ты делаешь, и ты за твое отношение к искусству, то есть ты относишься... я не могу... Окей, guys, I want to sleep,
Привет, я буду переводить тебе, прости. Ты так относишься к искусству и вообще много всего делаешь, но при этом свои работы, ваши работы, вы позиционируете не как искусство. Вопрос, неправильно ли было бы дальше развивать вашу деятельность в более политическом ключе, и, может быть, даже на базе вашей группы создать некое политическое объединение и решать политические задачи, если вы не позиционируете ваши работы как искусство?
Мы себя в той же мере не позиционируем как политическая организация, как политическая партия. Мы скорее то, что в России в 90-х представляли из себя ОПГ. Это такая организованная преступная группировка, которая ставит определенные цели и задачи и решает их. Вот в 90-х, вы меня прерываете, когда нужно будет переводить, в 90-х бандиты боролись с мусорами, с властью, тоже за власть, за контроль над обществом.
Можно я переведу это сейчас?
Вот мы занимаемся теми же самыми, но мы действуем без жертв, мы никого не убиваем. И мы не пользуемся деньгами, нам они не интересны. А так я провел именно эту аналогию с ОПГ из 90-х в России.
They mostly perceive themselves as criminals from 90s who actually work legally and they're just solving problems without money. They're not interested in money or anything else. They just perceive themselves as UPG, it's like organized criminals from 90s. They are not interested in that. He's not interested in answering to this question, I suppose. So, any other question?
Yeah, there are two more questions here and here, so I've seen it. Okay.
Извините, вам удалось все перевести?
Да, мне, в принципе, удалось перевести. Спасибо. Next question.
I wanted to know what it meant for them to be associated curators for the Berlin Biennale, and if that changed anything in their situation, or what it means to be involved in an institution that want to be obviously independent from an arts institution.
Вопрос про сотрудничество вас с Берлинской биеннале. Вы позиционируете себя против биеннале, но при этом сотрудничали с ними. Что это вам дало? Почему вы сотрудничали? И как бы в результате что вы от этого получили?
Ничего не дало, мы как раз отказались от поездки, отказались от какой-либо работы по выставкам, ну просто потому что нам это неинтересно. Единственное, от чего мы не отказывались, это вот тоже от просьбы. Вот, как в случае с Кирой, меня попросил Артур Жмеевский поучаствовать. Как ему это нужно было, это к нему вопросы. Я считаю, что, конечно, что-либо сделать в рамках биеннале невозможно. Это довольно зажатая такая бюрократическая хуйня, и не представляю, что там можно сделать.
In his opinion, working with institutions, it's fucking nothing interesting in working with institutions. So they rejected this proposal. They didn't go for Biennale, and they rejected to work and curate any exhibition projects. And the only participation of them is similar as we have right now. So somebody, apparently Zmeyevsky, asked them to participate in that kind of conference, and they participate because of their personal relationships, and that's all.
So, cool. Yeah, I understand that there's a flat rate for participating in this Truth is Concrete conference. So, flat rate, I mean like it's 250 euros for all the participants. So my question is, as you've already articulated just now and in the past, like really articulated like how there's no reason to participate in institutional art, why you're here now? Is it just so we can see you like without a shirt on? Why are you here?
He already answered to this question.
I didn't hear the answer.
He said that he don't want to participate in any institutional projects, and only in situation when somebody like Kira, and he knows her, and she's a nice person, and he asked, okay, I can participate by Skype, only in this condition. I'm pretty sure he will not gonna answer any further.
Already 3 times the same question. Okay, one minute, and then because we have 2 more. Yeah. Could you?
2 more
questions. 2 more questions, and then just pass the mic. I don't know what mic. Yeah. He wants to say. Someone who did not have a question. Oh, you didn't have. She didn't ask.
Я могу выбирать вопросы, потому что вот вопросы про поездки в Европу мне не очень интересны. Может, давайте поговорим о политике в России?
He proposed to talk about politics in Russia and present situation. Может быть, ты хочешь просто сказать что-то по этому поводу, сделать какое-то заявление свое?
Нет, скорее отвечу на вопрос, но по сути, не про поездку в Европу.
Okay, he asked about like questions about the present political situation in Russia, and he didn't want to answer to any questions about trips to Europe or something like that.
Okay, so who has a question about the situation in Russia? Yeah?
This is perfect.
Okay, could you pass the microphone, please?
And the second question is there.
Ask your question. Like very simply, there have been, not only in Europe, but also in Russia, a lot of criticism from a feminist and queer position of what the Voina are doing. Just like an idea, how does he feel, or how does Oleg feel about this?
From feminist groups,
Thank you.
It's about pussy riot, I suppose, not about...
What? No,
I mean,
no, from a feminist position.
Oh, yeah.
Queer and feminist position, criticism on the practice of Voina.
Окей. Вопрос такой, что с феминистических позиций вас часто критикуют за, видимо, патриархальные акции.
Какой вопрос?
Actually relates a lot.
Нет, Я услышал утверждение там, а какой вопрос?
Как ты к этому относишься?
Нам просто это мало интересно. Люди как-то ошиблись, когда вообще нас причислили к каким-то активистам или там каким-то художникам, не дай бог. Они как-то подумали, что мы вот какие-то вот либералы или там, я не знаю кто. Но вот когда мы сидели в тюрьме, да, нас защищали либералы, и они каким-то образом нас немножечко себе захотели присвоить. Но это большая ошибка, заблуждение. Мне совершенно не интересно ни то, что обо мне думают такого рода активисты, другого рода активисты. Мы занимаемся совершенно конкретными делами. Если хотите, мы поговорим об этом. Мнение феминистов или что-то, вот это нам глубоко до пизды.
Okay, he's answering that they don't interested in any opinion, they're just doing their stuff and they're not interested in anything. In one period of time, liberal opposition, they try to support them and try to think of them as like their property or something like opposition initiative, but they don't pay attention to this. They're just working for themselves and they don't care about anything, any position.
So we have 2 more questions, then we'll finish this.
I want to ask him what he thinks is the future of Putin. And will the change in Russia be violent? Will the change be violent? Will the change be violent and what is the future of Putin?
Хорошо, вопрос про то, что ты думаешь по поводу... Вопрос про то, что ты думаешь о будущем Путина и вообще о сопротивлении, о том, что будет в будущем с Россией.
Извините, я убегал. Давайте, я здесь.
Вопрос следующий. Что ты думаешь о будущем Путина и сопротивлении в России? Какое ты будущее предрекаешь?
Ну вот, до конца 2011 года я был уверен, что у Путина нет никакого будущего, что есть очень серьезные силы, которые ему противостоят. И вот за 2012 год я полностью убедился, что такой силы в России нет, что Путин на всех этих протестах, многотысячных протестах в России, заработал себе нормальные очки. Он очень неплохо разделался с этим протестом, показал себя способным разделаться с любого рода там, мелкой такой хуетой, хунтой. И показал, что их команда работает отлично. В этом смысле, что хочется пожелать, чтобы те, кто протестует Путину, я себя причисляю к их числу, они бы хоть сколько-нибудь могли работать соответственно своему врагу. Вот. Умели бы работать хоть сколько-нибудь в команде. Вот этого я совершенно не вижу.
Okay, I'm going to translate. So, 1 year ago, he thought that Putin is going to be somehow fought and he will go somewhere. And in this year, in 2012, and then he actually realized so there's no power who can defeat Putin, and right now there's no power such this, and Putin showed that his company, like his power, they just defeat all these like opposition leaders, and they're gonna be rule over Russia next years, and they just succeed, and he perceived himself as opposition to Putin, and he's just wanted opposition gonna be so well organized as Putin and his companions. There's nobody. Okay.
I wonder we can continue till.
Кто из оппозиционных лидеров, на твой взгляд, самый сильный сейчас?
But I wonder what would be, because the question about Berlin Biennale, I think the idea to appoint two co-curators was maybe it could be helpful in protecting your situation and helping you in Russia, not so much about you curating something. So my question would be about you personally, but also about the situation in Russia, what you think, what from the outside makes an impact, because certain criticism just is rejected, and so it's a bit difficult to see what should the outside of Russia, other countries and other people do to intervene. Is there something that is helpful? Is there something that is helpful for the political situation, but also maybe on a personal level, what should be done outside of Russia?
Он спрашивает, вопрос такой, что нужно делать людям вне России, персонально, вместе, какие вообще стратегии людей из-за границы могли бы помочь России в данной ситуации?
Я уже ответил на этот вопрос в начале. Если вы не будете нам мешать, нам будет от этого только лучше.
You can't help. You can't help. Just don't. Just watch. Let us deal with this situation by ourselves.
Ну, дальше я хочу сказать, что Европа находится в гораздо больше жопе, чем Россия сейчас, и я не очень понимаю, чем вы нам можете помочь. Вы со своими проблемами хоть немножко разберитесь.
Deal with your own problems.
The thing is that Europe is in a deeper asshole right now than Russia, so how could you help us?
But he accepted, for example, the appointment for co-curator of Berlin Biennale. He accepts all these things, so come on. Yeah, come on.
These are all controversies. Don't ask me. Ask him. Yeah, but you already got the answer from him. Yeah. So why do you ask me?
Be in the middle, then be in the middle.
Yes, no, we have one more question.
Do we want to continue this discussion, or are we going to keep talking about art and these festivals, whatever? Obviously, it's not interesting to him. We keep provoking him and talking about that. I hope we can kind of move on. And he said he wanted to talk about politics. I don't get why everyone's refusing to talk about this and wants to kind of one-up him. Will someone translate a question if I ask it, or should we move on? Will you translate? Yeah. But yeah, so earlier we heard from Nikolay, who was talking about in May we crossed, in Russia, he suggested that a certain threshold was crossed about the violence that will take place in future sort of political confrontations or struggles. I'd like to hear maybe from him about what he thinks about this threshold of violence and how he will participate in this sort of climate of violence within Russia, or how he can foresee within the next year of struggle, particularly about violence in Russia.
Вопрос по поводу насилия в России, он касается фильма «Что делать», который посвящен насилию, возможному насилию в будущем.
Если совсем правильный вопрос, то есть я говорил о насилии, которое сейчас слышно.
Подойди, скажи, что он тебя слышит.
Да, давай. Олег, здорово.
Привет.
Привет. Вопрос был такой. Я немножечко пытался рассказать о том, что вот рубеж насилия и ненасилия был пройден 6 мая. Когда был вот этот вот клинч между полицией и людьми, которые, собственно, не были совсем к этому готовы. И ты, собственно, очень правильно говоришь о том, что нет той силы, которая могла бы на данный момент ответить и полиции, и государству совершенно адекватным, организованным образом. И вот, собственно, это проблема, но точка, где не насилие или символическое насилие перешло в насилие как бы такое реальное, она уже пройдена. Что ты или ваша группа считаете нужным, возможным сделать? Или как вы вообще думаете о насилии как таковом, насилии вот в области как бы уличной политики или ОПГ, whatever it is?
Could you please repeat the question in a short version for the audience, because
спасибо, я понял.
Just repeat in Russian.
In English.
In English. Yeah.
Just to make it understandable for
those
who don't speak Russian.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Олег, ответь, пожалуйста, да, все, в принципе, готовы.
Хорошо. Ты потом переведешь, да?
Да, да.
Кто-то переведет, да? Потом?
Я переведу, да.
Алло, вы меня слышите?
Я переведу. Олег, я переведу.
Ага, хорошо. Ну, у нас наша группа называется «Война», и уже из названия следует, что мы, конечно, за силовые методы решения проблем.
Давай с коротким.
Я не думаю, что рубеж был
что
рубеж перешли 6 мая. Мне кажется, 6 мая была довольно истерическая ситуация со стороны рядовых активистов, которых просто заебала немножечко совершенно негодная организация митингов, которые вот, организаторы то, что устраивали из этого. Они попытались, ну, вот так, как смогли, неумело, но искренне, как-то вот, ну, хоть что-то сказать, но чтобы не опозориться совсем. Это не только
Олег,
мое мнение.
с небольшими паузами я буду переводить.
И все так думают, да? Вот. Что мы можем предложить? Мы предлагаем развязать гражданскую войну на территории Российской Федерации.
Ага.
Okay. Это единственное, что можно сделать сейчас.
Давай, короткую паузу. Yeah, with the translation. The thing is that I perceive, Alexei, I perceive the situation of 6th of May as a quite rather hysterical situation from the side of people who was completely fucked up, but was not prepared to give a real answer to the power and to the state. And this was quite hysterical, but still in the same time kind of open reaction. So we could not blame activists for not making it in a more violent way or more prepared way. But they did what they did. But Oleg doesn't think that this was the answer to the violence of police or to the brutality of the powers. So it is not succeed yet. The point is somewhere further. So we have to achieve it still. And the Voina group, as it called Voina, which translated from Russian like a war, is obviously for the methods which would be explained like, you know, violent, rather violent. Yeah, so this is his answer, and I absolutely agree with him. Да. Олег, спасибо. Мы, наверное, будем отключаться. Спасибо, счастливо.
Да, пока.
Удачи. Ну, сара.
Yes.
Yes. He has not much to enjoy, and we really would, you know, appreciate it, you know, because they are, you know, in a kind of quite, you know, strict situation. They are traced and they are hiding away, and you know they did a lot. Even if you don't know about what Voina group did, even though I really have a problem, a huge problem with methods which they produce and which they provide, I would really appreciate what they succeed so far. This is really a controversial thing that we all have, actually. We do things which rather organic to us, like what we would like to do, but we don't know the response yet, because we do what we do, what we can. And they did, and they will do something, I believe in that. We can criticize them, hardly, you know. We can beat each other to the death, you know. The question should be even sharper. But we have to appreciate what they did already. And they did a lot, quite a lot. And I don't know if they did it for good or for bad, but the situation we achieve after that. What kind of situation we have after what they did already. So we have this kind of machista status of some kind of artist who appreciate dick much more than cunt, whatever it is. I would appreciate Delat and Derrida, but still. And by you, by the way. But you can really search for Voina group in the internet if you didn't know about them. Or if you pretend, do not pretend. Really. I mean, most of the people knows about Voina group, and you know, if you have critique, just criticize. I mean, right?
Okay, but
sorry.
Now I would like to give a second or 7 minutes or more to Anton. He's not only a translator, he's an artist and he wants to make a presentation.
Yeah, hi. Good night. Okay,
Добрый
I'm
вечер.
kind of... You could translate to Russian, it's Russian night, of course. Okay, so I'm kind of representing really different way of and type of activism from Russia, which is started a couple of years ago, and now it became into our project called Partisaning, which is also, so on the one hand it's our website, on the other hand it's kind of a term that became kind of more and more popular in Russia, and it's kind of something post-graffiti, post-street art activism, like maybe social-oriented street art. And we have our website. Recently we opened English version of our website, and you can read about what's happening in Russia, political field and in art field. And so I'm going to present a couple of our projects, and I try to make this presentation connected with the present political situation. So it's in many ways connected with what we just discussed. This is a term. So it's kind of a term me as I'm an art historian and artist, so we come up with a new term. So this is our website. You can read about our projects here on our website, and here are a couple of our projects we've done a couple of years ago, and that's what we started with. I started with graffiti, then I come to the street art, and then I tried to work with galleries, and then I suddenly realized, so I don't want to work with any galleries, and it's not that interesting for me. And we come up with the idea of making more social-oriented practices, like creating DIY cycling maps, and in my opinion it's really important fact that actually this kind of self-organizing initiatives that started to happen a couple of years ago using social medias, Hidden Giants and other projects that were created in order to solve problems that state and governments cannot solve, like in this case creating cycling infrastructure and fighting against automobilization and traffic collapse. On the other examples is disasters like fires in forest or earthquakes or other situations when government can't solve these issues, and people started to self-organize in order to help each other, and it started to like a new movement of volunteers who started to actually take control over what's happening in the country. And in my opinion, this is what came into the situation in December with the presidency, with the parliament elections. So there are a couple of other projects we've done before. It's also examples of participatory art practices, but I better talk about this later tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'm giving presentation and lecture about our projects, and you can listen to more about our projects. And I would rather skip to political projects we do, communal birdhouses and other projects. And then we come up with the idea creating navigation, alternative navigation in the city, which is also have a strong political statement, and we try to raise awareness of people what's happening in the country. And we installed street signs like this in the Red Square, wearing tandem ahead, and it was happened just before elections. A thief head is on fire, it's a Russian proverb. And we installed these street signs in front of Parliament House, just pointing to thieves that gonna steal our votes. And it's like showing, pointing to somebody who's stealing. This is another project which we done in St. Petersburg zone of greater tolerance. It's also connected with the social problems we face in Russia and in Moscow, with all these laws against, as they call it, propaganda of homosexualism and other issues and laws. And then just before parliament elections, we installed this banner, and it's kind of really working tactic we use. It's kind of creating fake signs, fake news about what's happening in Moscow, and this banner we installed on one of the main squares where all opposition meetings and protests happened before, and government, they put fence around this square in order to not let people to make protest on this square, and we installed this banner saying, so you can read translation what it says. And after that, it was happened just 2 days before parliament elections, and actually this banner was retweeted and shared many times, and people thought that it's actually kind of true statement from government that they actually going to falsificate in upcoming elections, and it was kind of trying to telling truth from the name of government, and so it's a truth, and it's obviously truth, but on the other hand, it's like tricky situation. People just didn't understand, is it true or not? Is it fake banner or not? Then me personally and my friends, we decided to become, as we call it, citizen watchers. It's a really famous project, and in the movie it said that GOLOS organization, but actually citizen watchers, it's much more influent organization, and they organized lots of volunteers to participate in elections, to watch over what's happening in their districts, and to try to not let falsifications have to happen. And actually it was the most important part of all the situation, when people actually observed this, how all these elections were falsificated. And just a couple of days after these elections, people just came to the streets because they just observed how it happened, and that's what happened. So actually we had mass response from artists, creating banners, posters, street art, and lots of like huge response from street artists and people on the streets, unsanctionedly going to protests, and it was kind of a really inspiring moment. And then, you all know about what happened after this. So as protests and demonstrations happened in Moscow, but actually soon, after a couple of months, it became obvious that actually opposition leaders trying to somehow take control over all this protest movement, and lots of young people, not only anarchists, but many people realized that they don't want to support opposition leaders, they don't want to go for the protest meetings, and they actually want to tell what they want to do. And it was really interesting and inspiring moment again, because lots of people started to just joining and talking about alternative ways of self-organization, about digital democracy, direct democracy, and it was like meetings and discussions happened everywhere, in homes and kitchens and public spaces, and it was like the moment when people realized that they can't actually perceive these opposition leaders as somebody who can help them, and they should take control over the situation. And we published occasion bulletin, partisan bulletin with statements from famous Russian street artist Chto, Kirill the Who, with all the statements about self-organization, about if is there a place for those who are different. So it was all about self-organization, and we tried to concentrate our work on actually promoting this idea of self-organization. Then we tried to support local Occupy movement, and because of cold winter, because of being a bit slow, it happened just after May, when actually Putin became president again. It's again a huge banner that was made for Occupy column, made again by Kirill the Who. And then after this protest demonstration happened in the beginning of June, actually most of the activists realized, so we can't fight against Putin right now, because we perceive ourselves as a small group or as a small couple of percent who actually believe in self-organization, who want to change the system, not to fight against Putin. And we don't want to support people in a position who actually don't want to change the system, but really want to just put new people as a president, and other people just change people, but without changing the system. And after that, people realized, so they just should work. It should be everyday work, and we need to. It's a marathon. We have to work like 4 years, everyday work, to work on alternative way of education, of self-organization, and we just like small kids who just trying to fight against really strong enemy, and we need to create this alternative from the scratch. And so that's what we realized. So then we started to organize every Sunday living room discussion at Occupy, and we invited guys from Occupy Data from New York, and we tried to analyze all the data we collected during this Occupy and other protests happened in Moscow, because actually after what happened, all these protest movements started to expand, and people started to organize protests against destroying forests and so on and so on. So then we made website, and actually I'm going to tell more about this tomorrow at 8. I don't want to. I actually want to sleep, and maybe you too. So let's just keep discussing what we have. Thank you, and come for my lecture tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So maybe there are some questions to the. Yes, please. And then we would like to invite everybody to vodka on the stage, because it's time, I think.
Okay. I just wonder how you could install, for instance, this huge affiche on the houses without being sanctioned. It's kind of you're fucked up, or after the election, these huge signs, because you always need, you have to make them. They are huge cost, and you have to make the rig and everything. So how do you do it?
So we do it unsanctionally. We do everything unsanctionally. We mostly not getting any funding from any institutions. So we just do it by our hands, using, just brushes, posters, like.
Yeah. From the roof, it was huge.
Yeah. It's actually work of. Yeah, this actually that drawing was made by Tima Radia from Ekaterinburg. He's also our close friend, and we working with him, and we made a couple of interviews. You can read it on our website. So he's really cool artist, and he's making huge works on mostly on the rooftops with clear and like pure statements about, I don't know, political situation in this case, or just social statements. He's very cool. He's just using, I mean, I can add a couple of pictures from him and you can come for tomorrow's lecture and I will show more works by Timara then.
Thank you very much. Is there any more statements?
Is there anyone alive?
Yeah, just come closer and drink vodka with us, so it's time to... Thank you, everybody.